The newest Netflix original movie has just come out, and it's called A Fall from Grace. And with this movie and the last Netflix original that I reviewed on this channel, it seems like Netflix is trying to make up for the absolute disaster that was All the Freckles in the World. The plot from A Fall from Grace follows the character of Grace Waters, who is convicted for the murder of her husband, and the defense attorney that takes the case and starts finding a few weird things about it. The movie goes through really the mystery of what happened leading up to the case and everything about that. And that's what makes it really interesting, because you don't know what's happened throughout quite a lot of the movie. And even throughout the movie, you feel like there's other things that you haven't missed, and you're trying to figure out how all these things that the movie set up fit into place. But then it's confusing, but it's also confusing in the way that it's keeping you brought in. I need to be careful with the way that I speak during this review. This is the third time that I've had to record this, because I do not want to spoil this movie, because some of the ways and directions that it goes are absolutely amazing. So the things that I can talk about really are the performances, and the characters in this movie, especially our two leads, are amazing. We get to see these great character arcs for them. Even some of the side characters get pretty interesting character arcs. There were some that I'd like to see a little bit more developed, but that's fine. They want important characters, so you can see why they weren't developed throughout it. And it just feels nice to see this movie really paying attention to the characters and how they would act. There isn't a moment during the movie where there are different characters that you feel are acting out of character. You can see how each character does things, and then when they're put in a situation, that's how you would see them go through that situation. They all feel like real people characters, apart from maybe a few characters who are only important near the end. And also the script in this movie is amazing. It all feels really fluid and really well thought out, and it doesn't feel like there is a script. It just feels like normal people having normal conversations, and that's what's great about this movie. Also, I love the use of lighting in the movie. It's quite a bleak movie, so the weather's bleak, it's quite grey. Normally I like to complain about Netflix always making really monotone movies. This movie pretty much escapes that by having a good mix of inside shots and outside shots. We get to see some shots where they're going through woods at night, or we get to see a monotone blue police office. And it's interesting to see all these areas. That's what Netflix needs to do more of, because in a lot of their movies it just feels like the same colours over and over again. So it was really refreshing to see this movie kind of break out of that pattern. It wasn't a perfect movie, but it was very good. The final act, when we reach there, goes a very different tone from what we've seen in the rest of the movie, and that kind of feels weird, because you set up this movie and how you feel things should go, and then it kind of goes in a completely different direction, and it's kind of a good way, but it's also kind of weird because you'd like to see it go other ways, and I feel like there's a bit of missed potential. This was an original story by Tyler Perry, and I'm certain he's made other movies, and I really want to see all of those now, because this was very, very good. But my biggest problem with the movie is pretty much the entire, or half of the second act of the movie is taken up by a flashback, and in that flashback you're completely taken away from one of the main characters. And that character is kind of meant to be the main character of the story. So when you come back after the flashback, you've connected with these other characters who aren't major points of the story anymore, and you're meant to suddenly reconnect with these other characters. It's a problem a lot of people said Hellboy had, but I feel like this movie probably actually has it as a bigger problem. There's only one large flashback, but it's like a 30-minute long flashback, so it takes a lot of time to get readjusted to all the characters. But it didn't really hurt the flow of the movie too much. Anyway, I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10, very close to perfect. Best movie I've seen all decade. It's nice that I get to keep saying that. Every movie I've seen this decade slowly improves. Sorry I haven't made a video recently, because I tore my Achilles tendon, so I've had to do a lot of rest. School's been tough, and there have been no original movies that I've had the chance to go see. Ni no Kuni, which was like a Japanese animated movie that I thought was a 2020 release, was in fact 2019. So as far as I know, there's at least one more 2020 January movie coming out. It's another Netflix original called Uncut Gems. You've probably heard of it. It's from 2020, so I'll get to review at least one more movie this month. Also, thank you all so much. Suddenly, this community has grown so much because we are up to 11 subscribers. I know that's not that much, but I've been doing YouTube since 2016. It's been a long time. I've kind of dropped that main channel that I started with, but one of my videos hit 1,000 views. I think it's like 1,200 views right now, which is amazing that so many people have seen my videos. It's insane just to think about, and I really hope that this channel can keep going, because I've actually had to have conversations. I've gotten to have conversations with you all watching, and that's amazing. It's something that I've really wanted to do for a really long time. So hopefully this review has made you want to see the movie. It's very good. If you have seen it, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.